Secretary General Pecinoș Buric, President Van Rompuy, Rector Mogherini, Mayor, Governor, Directors of Studies, families, friends, fellow students. Congratulations, we made it. We survived 10 months of waking up to the sound of horses going to Markt, bells playing the ode to joy, and USFS emails trying to sell us multi-million euro houses, cars, or flower pots. 10 months of steak and frites, 10 months of Belgian weather. 10 months of being deeply concerned for our future careers. 10 months of going to sleep with Bruges in our veins. We studied together, sure, but we also helped each other through crises. Whether it was the ever-looming pandemic, heartbreaks, mental breakdowns, health problems, family tragedies, someone amongst us was always there to support us. We truly lived up to the symbol of a strong, united, and peaceful Europe. Yet, never before have we, students of international relations and diplomacy, been so uncertain about the effectiveness of diplomacy. But never have we doubted its importance. This year, we had the rare opportunity to study the European Union's external action from different perspectives. And in every policy field, what brought us together is an intrinsic, committed, and shared belief in common values. In our simulation game, we perfectly understood how to put this in practice. We proved that decision-making does not always have to be the lowest common denominator, but it can be the sum of intertwined positions and interests, combined with solidarity, yet fully complying with national needs. Here, I cannot but thank our head of department, Professor Dr. Gustol, Professor Schunz, our academic assistants, and the staff of our faculty, who successfully eased this essential convergence of ethics and morals. A special and well-due grazie mille goes to Sara Canali, who will sadly leave our department after 4 years, spent helping students, while always keeping a humbling and inspiring degree of kindness. Thank you also to my colleague Carolina Delbequerc, a true leader, a pillar of our promotion, and a dear friend. Verdadeiramente, muito obrigado. C'est vrai, parfois vivre ensemble, en paix, signifie aussi négocier avec notre orgueil individuel. Mais il n'y a pas plus grande fierté dès quand nous atteignons nos objectifs ensemble, en solidarité, ce que nous appelons l'esprit de collège. The Eliane Vogel-Polsky promotion embodied it by volunteering for several charities throughout the year, at the Phoenix Cafe, the charity team, or in national societies. We organized activities and raised funds for local causes, for the Ukrainian Red Cross, and to save the lives of children, women, and men in the Mediterranean Sea. We took turns to keep the library open on weekends and until late at night. Thank you, Roseline, René, and the rest of the library staff for your care and proactiveness, for listening to our concerns and implementing our suggestions. We stood united petitioning for more mental health awareness in the administration and looking out for one another. We also worked to improve the learning experience of the David Sassoli promotion, which we very much hope will follow our legacy of advocating for a more inclusive, transparent, and accessible environment for the promotions to come. We showed solidarity when we marched together in silence on that traumatic 24th of February, or when our classmate hung the Ukrainian flag from the canteen's balcony, in a never-ending deafening applause that tied us all together under the same flag. Maybe we will never find out who got locked inside the library after closing hours, who sold the socks in Biscaya, who fell asleep in the toilets of the cave, or in the toilets of the student bar, or who won the Christmas tree competition, KV. But wherever we decide to lay our paths, we know that we will carry lessons of solidarity within, and not just with our aims, but also with how we want to achieve these. While negotiation remains a subject that we studied at length, we should not negotiate with our own values and our own ambitions, moving towards a greener, more feminist, more ethical Europe. Turning our privilege into responsibility means internalizing awareness of other people's struggles, tailoring our behaviors and strategies accordingly. And it's very, very simple. From each, according to their ability, to each, according to their needs. For there is no space for a zero-sum game, a victory of evil over good, of the language of violence over openness and inclusiveness and empathy. We stand with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini. Thank you.
It is an honor for me to speak on behalf of the MATA program at the College of Europe. First of all, I would like to start by saying that we're extremely happy to be able to share this moment with our families in the beautiful city of Bruges, and to dedicate our accomplishments to our loved ones who unfortunately left us too soon, but who are very much present in our thoughts today. The college is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity which could not be repeated. Yes, the canteen, the library, and even the rat in Vizcaya will always be there. But the people and the overall experience would never be the same. I highly doubt that other promotions will have a Pablo Luoncan Garcia selflessly organizing workouts in KB to the rhythm of I'm Still Standing. And while we will all be missing repas fois when Friday comes, I'm sure that we cannot imagine ourselves as being part of any other promotion other than our own, the Vogel-Polsky promotion, a promotion full of hope. We all came to Bruges despite the uncertainty caused by the pandemic, enjoying every moment and taking advantage of every opportunity. In fact, we resorted to this spirit all year long, including when the Wi-Fi stopped working in the middle of our exams, and when, after more than 2 years of not taking place, we were able to resume the inter-campus visits between Bruges and Nathalie. For 2 incredible weekends, we shared memorable moments with our Nathalinian colleagues. This exchange was an unforgettable experience, but if the memories ever start to get blurry, we just need to sing Parole, Parole, and we feel right back in Nathalie. This, among many other activities, would not have been possible without Patricia Alonso or Pierre Bachelier, whom I sincerely thank on behalf of all students. Although most of you crossed the finish line of your academic lives today, in the MATA program, we're only halfway through. And this closing ceremony only marks the equator of our journey together. Not only are we proud Vogel-Polskiers, but we're also part of the Amelia Earhart promotion, named after the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic. The bond that unites us is unbreakable. In fact, we stood together in the worst of times, while everyone else was busy writing their thesis and went to the seaside to decompress. Thanks to our Director of Studies, Professor Chang, and to our incredible academic assistant, Juliette Dupont, we were very lucky to meet with the Working Party on Transatlantic Affairs of the Council of the EU and celebrate the 5th year anniversary of the MATA program, which we dedicated to the legacy of Madeleine Albright. As we're about to continue our journey in the United States, we cannot help but recall the immense efforts that have been made on both sides of the Atlantic in support of Ukraine. From condemning the war in international fora, such as the UN, to coordinating sanctions and providing weapons through NATO. No one knows how long the war will last, nor the aggregate impact in Ukraine and beyond. What is unquestionable is that we, as Europeans, need to remain united in providing unwavering support to Ukraine and stay committed to its reconstruction. Decisions taken at the highest political level have an impact, unevenly felt by different societal groups. Our task as future policymakers will therefore be to tirelessly work towards the respect of the European values of democracy and the rule of law, while making sure that we leave no one behind. Democracy and social justice go hand in hand. Let's not allow anyone to state the contrary. Finally, I would like to sincerely thank, on behalf of all students, our Rector Mogherini for inspiring and supporting us to realize this task, and to all the members of the administration for working so hard to ensure such a unique and enriching learning experience. A special thanks goes to our host families for welcoming many of us so kindly during our stay in Bruges. Thank you all very much.
Notre patronne de promotion, Eliane Vogel-Polsky, a marqué l'histoire européenne par son travail et son engagement dans la construction d'une société plus juste et égalitaire. Cette année, nous nous sommes ainsi inspirés à elle pour avancer et protéger une cause, celle de la parité des genres et de la lutte aux violences des genres, au sein de cette institution et aussi de nos domaines d'expertise, l'Europe et l'Union européenne. That is why we have stood together firmly to ensure our college community is fair, inclusive, and safe for everyone. This implied raising awareness among our colleagues, but also taking concrete actions to both prevent and tackle painful experiences. Throughout the year, we have been outspoken, organized, proactive, and committed to work towards building a college community truly reflecting the European Union we would like to have. In doing so, we have found support in members of the administration and hopefully planted a seed for further reform and action, both needed at the college and in Europe, to make sure the work done is valued and the commitments made are respected. We all arrived in Bruges with different sensitivities with regards to the topic, but no doubt we will all leave more aware of the challenges ahead. From our purple points, ensuring safety at the student bar, to the drafting of the college gender equality charter, and the organization of workshops and talks to acquire specific knowledge and know-how on leadership, consent, and sexual misconduct, our community was mobilized and engaged in a process of reflection, self-transformation, and empowerment. Thank you, Olivia Van Havre and Marina Saelices, for your tireless work for the Student Association for Gender Equality. And thank you also to our Welfare Office, Julie Favril, for your care and commitment to continue in this direction. Nous espérons alors qu'il y aura un avant et un après la promotion Eliane Vogel-Polsky. Dans le département des politiques, ça a déjà été le cas. Jamais, avant cette promotion, 2 filles avaient été élues pour représenter les étudiants du département. Et cela est encore plus remarquable si l'on considère que cette année, 2 tiers des étudiants en politique étaient des hommes. Since the beginning, students of the politics department have shown their willingness to create an inclusive environment based on equality, mutual learning, and solidarity. except for the simulation game. During the first semester, we had the opportunity to learn from an institution within the institutions, Professor Jean-Jacques Jacquet, to exchange brave ideas in the framework of the discussion group of Professor Costa's class. And we also came to two very important conclusions: that to succeed in Brussels, we need to arrive on time, and that when it comes to political economy, the answer is always Germany. The Social Climate Fund brought us together during second semester, and so did the memorable party after the 3 weeks of negotiations, where new friendships were celebrated and old ones restored. Our study trip around Flanders and Belgium was also another highlight of the semester, kindly organized for us by our wonderful academic assistant. Thank you for your efforts and for accompanying us throughout this journey. Chaque activité nous a alors apporté des connaissances et du savoir-faire qui nous permettront de continuer notre parcours professionnel et personnel avec plus de confiance et plus d'expertise, pour peut-être nous aussi, bientôt, contribuer à sauver les requins au Parlement européen. De la même façon, chaque personne rencontrée au sein du département et du collège, plus généralement, a contribué à notre formation en tant que citoyennes et citoyens européens informés, engagés, à l'esprit critique et avec une meilleure compréhension des dynamiques et de la valeur de la vie en communauté et des inégalités qui peuvent la caractériser. Cette prise de conscience est centrale afin de s'appuyer sur l'héritage de celles et ceux qui nous ont précédés et profiter aux générations et promotions futures pour une communauté plus inclusive et résiliente. Thank you.
S'il existe un terme qui pourrait définir notre promotion, ce serait en effet le mot résilience. Ensemble, durant cette année sous une forte émotion, nous sommes devenus plus forts et plus braves. Depuis le mois de septembre dernier, nous étions confrontés à une charge de travail ainsi qu'une expérience humaine sans précédent. Nous avons appris à mieux nous connaître, à mieux connaître les autres. Nous avons rencontré des amis qui nous laissent souvent l'impression de les avoir connus depuis toujours. We arrived here having many questions over our professional and private lives. I do believe most of them were answered. However, one crucial question remains. Who built the boat? Indeed, these 10 months, even though they flew by the blink of an eye, forged us way more than years could ever do. And it did forge solidarity and patience among us, while multitasking between our thesis, assignments, and presentations, as well as occasionally looking for a job. We have been through good days, and there will be for sure days that affected us more than the others. This year, we can be proud that the College of Europe decisively acted on issues that matter to all of us. It certainly did raise the bar and set the example for the coming promotions. The Economics Department, as we often like to put it, is a unique department. Indeed, we're very happy that we can boast about being the only department that had a study trip abroad. That, as per tradition, happens in the beginning of the month of May, offering us a moment to enjoy German food and think about the future of Europe through our visits to the European Central Bank and the European Court of Auditors. I would like to thank the whole department for this opportunity, as well as our academic assistants, Claire, Jeanne, and Cici, for always having the time to answer our emails and requests. I would also like to thank my department colleague, Marina Navarro, for all her support and initiatives. Thank you. The smallest, probably the most diverse department in terms of options, we bonded very fast from the beginning during our carefree introductory courses. The collaboration between our EPA and ELA tracks reached its heights during this week, when these tracks were organizing their yearly symposium. As the year passed, that solid bond remained. And even though we probably had a bit of too much classes that finished at 10 p.m., we can still proudly say that it did not affect our morale and went quickly to share a moment at our beloved student bar. Indeed, the students of the economics department do run the iconic student bar, or Thursday night's go-to place. It is a place where we share joys, share sorrows. The prices there were certainly raising higher than the Eurozone inflation rates, but we still had great fun. Our colleagues from Vogel-Polsky supported many charities and also provided relief funds for the Ukrainian people, thanks to their profits. The Solve a Business game was for us an opportunity to showcase our policy-oriented mindsets and to confront them with the world outside, which we successfully did. One of our teams won one of the challenges, while other students secured jobs and made lasting contacts with peers from other universities. Next year, you will find us not only in Brussels, but also in London, Paris, or Zurich. And finally, I would like to say a small word to each of the families and the friends that are here with us or watching from somewhere else. You have all provided an enormous support, not only during this year, although remotely, but up until this point in our lives. Entering and graduating from the college is the result of a path that has been paved for a long time. It truly takes a village. Dear friends and families, what you can see in front of you is the fruit of years of work and dedication, and often a very big investment. I can assure you that the people here are among the hardest working people I have ever got the opportunity to meet. The future is bright. This one is for you. Merci.
There are many defining events and memories for our promotion, both memories which are unique to us and to a Bruges bubble, as well as those which characterize and define our generation and which define Europe as a whole. These experiences and events have shaped us, and hopefully we will use them to shape whatever the future holds for us. The crisis we are currently facing, the ongoing so-called refugee crisis and Europe's failure to respond to it, the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, or the war against Ukraine require a common response in solidarity and in humanity. Solidarity with those fleeing these crises and with the international community, especially with countries whose citizens and values are being attacked. The last 10 months have shown us exactly how many ways there are to manifest solidarity and to care for and about others. We arrived in Bruges with various insecurities, uncertainties, and expectations as to what we would make of this year. During the opening ceremony, we were still wearing masks and social distancing as much as we could. We overcame all the impracticalities of the pandemic, sharing Tupperwares, bringing food to our friends in isolation, and coordinating with the administration to get extra COVID tests. Despite these inconveniences, this experience also showed us the extent of team effort and the spirit of solidarity that defines our promotion. For law students, this year was characterized by unsurmountable pages of syllabi, by bilingual exams, heated conferences and moot courts, and many hungover lectures on Friday mornings. Our study trip was also more memorable than expected. Our dear academic assistants scrambled to ensure that despite travel restrictions and time restraints, the study trip was both fun and, more importantly, according to Michael, informative. And while the initial, let's say, disappointment of the law department study trip taking us around Flanders instead of the metropolis of Luxembourg, there are no hard feelings. I mean, who wants free chocolate, a beer museum, and a boat trip when you can visit Flanders Fields and the Parliamentarium in Brussels? Here, I want to sincerely thank you, our dear AAs, for organizing not only this trip, but also for having guided us with encouragements and meticulously prepared handouts through all our most difficult courses and exams. The same thank you for your support also extends to our head of department, Professor Inge Govare, and to Professor Sasha Garben. A very special thank you also goes to my fellow law representative, Dimitar Arsov. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have shared this responsibility with you, and even more so to be your friend. This was an exhausting year. None of us could have done it without the friendships we've made at the college, without that one person who shared their notes with us, without that one person who prepped us for an oral exam in a language we may not speak fluently, or a friend who biked us home after a long night out at the cave. There are many other examples of how all of us, in our own ways, have worked to create un avant et un après la promotion d'Eliane Vogel-Polsky. We also worked on a proposal to make the college more inclusive, to give students without the financial means to study here the opportunity to do so. We believe that studying at an institution such as the College of Europe should not be a privilege, but an opportunity for the brightest to contribute to a better, more social, more inclusive Europe. We hope that already the David Sassoli promotion will benefit from this scheme. Undoubtedly, solidarity has been a guiding principle for the Eliane Vogel-Polsky promotion. We have tirelessly worked for a more just, more accessible, more feminist, and more social college. But our promotion in different ways has also sought to make an impact beyond the bubble. Solidarity leads to equality, justice, transparency, opportunity, and peace. Like all values of the European Union, it must be continuously manifested and defended, and it cannot be selective. But today in Europe, solidarity is contested, and it is selective. It is our responsibility to change this. Solidarity requires an active effort. Whether we become policy makers, lawyers, surfing teachers in Australia, or heads of unit in the European Commission, let's fight for solidarity. Thank you.
Dear Madam Rector,
honorable guests,
dear colleagues, dear friends,
this day marks the beginning of a new and a very important stage of our lives. It is now that we are going to build our futures, and indeed the future of our continent. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has reminded us all that nothing is really ever granted, and that maintaining the European Union's unity and stability, fighting for Europe's values, will require constant effort and strong leadership.
having had the chance to meet you in Natolin and Bruges, we have been continuously impressed by both the intensity of the interest you dedicated to your studies and by the countless human qualities you displayed. There is no doubt in our minds that you will become accomplished humans and fantastic leaders in whatever field you choose to specialize in.
It is with overt pride and pleasure that we congratulate you all on finishing this academic year and on graduating from the College of Europe. We would especially like to celebrate the remarkable exploit of the different programs majors and those who will be awarded prizes for their academic efforts and performance. We certainly hope that you have enjoyed this very intense academic experience at the College of Europe, and we look forward to meeting you in the very near future.